This next one is from a company that I really respect and like, and they made some really good games, and they've made some kind of like middling ones. This one I thought was kind of better than average until it came back and bit me really hard, and it bombed its score for me. And I've never played any of the games in this specific series, and I know they're like pumping them out every year, and a new one just came out. But that's the Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope. Like I said, this is another one of those from the horror month of October that I'm just now doing the video on, although I finished it back like a month ago. So, like I said, this is from Supermassive Games, who made Until Dawn and a bunch of other choose-your-own-adventure style horror games that are pretty much just like it. So the story goes, you start off playing as like this family that's kind of dysfunctional, and they're going through some financial issues. And I believe all the children are like adopted, so it might be like a foster home. And it goes kind of hard at the beginning. I liked the beginning of this game, but it shifts and goes to this sort of situation where the same characters are these college students and their professor, and they're in this bus crash during some field trip somewhere. And they're forced to go to this town called Little Hope, hence the title of the game. And, strange things start happening, and the town was a site for like witch trials back in the 1600s and all this. And, these games, you basically just kind of like wander around gathering collectibles and clues, and you do like quick time events as you explore. And that's really all the gameplay consists of, which is like fine for me. I kind of like the slower pace of it. And I like these choose your own adventure games. And the goal is to try to depending on your motivations as a gamer or a masochist, is to try to save everybody from getting killed and like escape the situation, or to like have everybody get killed in the most gruesome fashion possible, which I get that too. These Supermassive Games, they're all kind of like that. I think they do a good job with them. Although the stories can kind of get a little generic after time. They are pumping these things out like every year. But, the faces look great, and you recognize some of the actors and actresses in this. And, but you can tell other things were kind of like a rush job in the game, and it looks very budget focused. And it was. Like, I think these games are like, $30 or $40 when they release, as opposed to the typical $60 or $70. They're short little experiences, kind of like, almost like watching a movie is how you're supposed to interpret them. And I get that. And like I said, there's a lot to like about this game. The intro was awesome, and I thought it was like intense and really cool. I kind of wish the whole game was based around that rather than shifting. And I like this choose your own adventure format. But let me tell you about something. I'm going to tell you right then, if the game had kind of like maintained what it was doing, I would have given it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a really decent game. It's worth a few hours to put into it, and that's good. That's what Supermassive Games, I think, was kind of going for, a game kind of in that. They're not trying to make a masterpiece. They're trying to, make an entertaining evening for you, which the game did. However, this game crashed about 10 minutes before the end of the game, and it corrupted my save file, my one and only save file. It auto saves, and there was no way to recover it. I've heard people say things like, "Oh, you need to back up your save to like a thumb drive or to PlayStation Network." I don't have a PlayStation Network account. I don't play any games online, so I don't need one. So there's no way to recover my save, and I wasn't about to like restart the game over and play another like 3 or 4 hours. I think the game's about 4 hours long, and I was like 3 hours and 45 minutes into it when it crashed on me. And so that really made me angry, and I was having a good time with it up until that point, and that really frustrated me. And I had to go, no joke, like look on YouTube and watch the endings. I watched all the different endings, including the one I was most likely going to get. And the ending ended up like kind of like sucking. Like the ending was not very good. So a lot of people complained that like the story didn't matter and things like that. And I agree with them. I think that this game kind of dropped the ball at the end, and it definitely dropped the ball by being glitchy and buggy and crashing on me and corrupting my save. And I think, who was the publisher of this? Bandai Namco is the publisher of this. They, in Supermassive Games, have like no plan to patch it and fix it, which is annoying. It should have never happened to begin in the first place. But That being said, is Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope, something to play? Yeah, for an afternoon, or an evening or a weekend or something like that, put a few hours into it. If you can beat it, it's a 6 or 7 out of 10 kind of game, which is decent. But if it crashes, let me tell you, like it did for me, this game's a 4 out of 10. I'm giving it a 4 because it just puts such a bad taste in my mouth with like that. It makes me so angry. I hate that. Make your games playable. A game should never be in a situation where it crashes so badly you can't finish it and actually get pressed to a disc and released to the public. I mean, come on.